about back in Singapore? Do Singaporeans actually know what is Singapore food? Ariff, you then told me 3 dishes you would order. What was it?
I have this principle. If I go to Minang, like nasi padang restaurant, I would try their beef rendang, of course, their balado, and also their gulai. If it tastes off, then I would say they are not authentic. Authentic is a heavy name to use, but I do check with my professors whether I can use authentic. They say, you are from that culture, you have some dishes in your restaurant, go ahead, use it authentic.
You mentioned the 3 dishes, balado, rendang, and gulai.
Yeah.
Can you explain what is balado, what is rendang, and what is gulai?
Our beef rendang, if you Google it, where does beef rendang original, it actually came from my village called Sumatra in Padang, in West Sumatra. Beef rendang is a royalty food. They only eat beef during festive season, and it's not even from a cow, it's from buffalo. Buffalo is muscular, right? So you chew that beef like a chewing gum. People enjoy it. That's why, the old face, they have that beautiful jaw, not like us, chubby, kind of thing. That's beef rendang, and it's a must to have at any nasi padang restaurant. So balado, so I graduated from CIA, Culinary Institute of America. So I start to realize that my food wasn't appreciated. So I start to realize that balado is actually a chili confit chili. So you have to soak it in oil, get the aromatic, then the oil is actually nice. So you realize that nasi padang is unhealthy, right? But it's the flavor is there, And then gulai is like people will ask me, hey boy, I want the curry chicken. Then I have to explain to her, this is not curry, there's no curry leaf, there's no curry powder. It's actually coconut based. So it's different cooking. You need to take a long time to cook for all dishes. It's not like instant, 30 minutes, done. It's like hours of braising and passion and love involved with the cooking.
Peranakan origins have always been debated. What is your definition of Peranakan food?
Peranakan food has not been debated. When I grew up, it was nasi Melayu, that we ate. And nasi padang wasn't a term that we were used to. So nasi Melayu, and you get it from Malacca to Singapore. So there was intermarriage, and the Chinese part of it is Hokkien. So we don't have oyster sauce, we don't have Chinese wine, we don't have sesame oil in Peranakan food. It's very Hokkien based, which is garlic, lots of soya sauce, tau chio, for example. So it's a different taste that goes very well. It blends with the cooking of the Malay Peninsula, right? So we grew up with Malay food, for example, and he's quite correct, because Javanese food is different as well. And we always thought that Malay food was Malay food. Then when you go to Java and you go to different places, you realize actually in the Indonesia itself there are many types of food. And then we became very familiar with Padang, and I have been to Padang myself, and it's very fascinating. The food there is very delicious, and it's served in a different way from Singapore. So our food has that basis, plus we are very multi-cultural in Peranakan food. There's the British influence, so we make pies, cakes, for example. And the cakes have a very Dutch influence, which means that they're very high in egg and butter, which is also the Indonesian, Chinese, Dutch influence of the cakes, like the kueh lapis, for example. And then there's also the British and there's the Indian influence in the food. Southeast Asian is actually root spices. Galangal, lemongrass, turmeric. So when we say curry, we mean the Indian. And South Indian curries are coconut-based and rice-based. And North Indian is cream, milk-based, as well as wheat-based. Our Indian influence is southern, because the immigrants who came were from Tamil Nadu and Malayali. So it was very South Indian. And I remember that as a child in 1960, we haven't heard of North Indian food. The first restaurant serving North Indian food was called Omar Khayyam on Hill Street. First time we ever saw tandoori in 1960s. So they may have cooked it at home, but in Singapore, that was the first time we ever saw tandoori. The interesting thing about geography and history is that actually you can trace all this. It traces how people travel. Your travel brings back different memories, different loves, and you put it into your food. Your dining table is a history of your family. I wrote a cookbook called a Singapore Family Cookbook, and I divided into daily food, restaurant food, from overseas, special foods. And it represents the different foods that we ate. So actually, when you look at your dining table, it actually represents the history of your own family. It's the way we eat together.